Good morning, it's the 18th of July 2023, Tuesday, and this is my trade plan for today. On my screen at the moment you've got the 1 hour MES or the ES chart, and it's looking better today because we've got a few levels we can play with. So we've broken down through the VWAP and we've broken down through the 20 moving average on the hourly, and so it's setting up for a possible bearish start of the day, even though we've got this nice bottom tail at the moment. But I'm going to try and keep with a neutral bias. We've got this heavy area of volume. Just give my pen. This area here of volume, and this is potentially a natural area of resistance on this chart, and we're looking around 45.50, 45.55 to 45.57 as an area of resistance. I've got it already marked as well on the chart. So what I'm going to watch for is for a scalp low. If we move up into this area, then I'll look for a rejection, but that's going to be a high risk scalp rejection. And that's obviously based on those candles going back a couple of days ago and the top of that tail. I'm ignoring this for now. If we look stronger, then I'm going to look for a break and retest, but I want to use the pre-market highs as my retest area, and ideally I want to see an air gap between the candles. So as we're pushing up, I want to see it then come back down to this area, and then we have this gap in the middle, so we've got a defined break and retest, and that's what I really want to look for. But if we don't get that, then I'm going to try and be a bit quicker and less hesitant, and we may get on the open, we may get a couple of big candles moving up straight into that area, and then maybe like yesterday a couple of big candles coming back down into that area. So I really want to try and capitalize on being quick on the open. So that's kind of what I'm looking for, either a rejection of that level or a break and retest long. I'm keeping my options open. We've obviously got this high from yesterday, 45, 65, 75, so potentially that could also be a rejection point. But if we're looking strong and we're just grinding up, smaller candles, then another break and retest. One thing I want to do today is try and go with the trend, and as you can see from the chart, this is the 60-minute, we're still in an uptrend. We're above the 50 moving average, and we're definitely above the 200. So until we break the 50 and close below the 50, then I want to really be biased on a upward move, a bullish trend rather than a bearish trend. So that's kind of what I'm going to do today. So I've got a rejection area at 45.57, another rejection area at 45.65, and obviously if we do push up, then I've got this big area up here, 4600, which will be a major daily rejection area, and that will be a series of start positions. I probably won't use the entire zone if we get up there for my entries. I'm going to try and get in at 46.05 is my preferred area for it to reject off, but 4600 will probably layer in on my first starter position. For bounces, we've got this double bottom we've put in yesterday's close and the pre-market, and that will be a higher risk rejection. So I've not really reviewed the chart, I'm just reviewing it as I'm talking. So so we've got this, look at that, right on, you can't get a better rejection area than that. On the zone I created, that zone's been there for some time. So I'll be looking for a rejection off here. Again, I'll probably try and get in a little bit earlier with a starter position, and this major level, if we do break through, will be my preferred area, and a stop there, or possibly a stop just below there. But this entire zone is going to be a good rejection zone because it's a area of demand. And if I zoom out a bit, you can see also it's a pivot over here as well, and it's a bit of an area where it just couldn't decide which way it wanted to go, and it was the tops of those candles, and now it's the bottoms of these candles. So that's the reason why I got that biggish zone. So that's kind of what I'm watching for. But that pivot is actually my 45-24 area, so that's where I'll be looking to take a bounce up. And if we sell off even further, we've got this 200 moving average down at 49.90 area, and we've got this potential area 44.98 or 4500, another psychological number, so that should be a good bounce. So that's the MES for today. Looking at the SPY, again I've got some levels already predetermined. I'll quickly go through them. So we've got this area here I want to be watching, 448.25 for a bounce. That would have broken the 50 moving average, and we could be in a downtrend at that point, so we want to keep an eye on that. So that would be a bounce with confirmation, and we'll be looking at volume and looking for a reversal pattern, maybe a double bottom at the bottom here, W-shaped bottom, or a V-shaped bottom, but with confirmation. So I don't want to get in unless it breaks the previous candle, so something like that. I want to get in on the break of that candle. So 448.25 is a bounce area. There's a higher risk bounce at 449.10 area, and that's purely this area of convergence, where we've got the bottoms of the tops of this candle converge with the bottoms of these candles, and then the tops of these candles, and we've got this little area as well. So it could potentially become a resistant a support area, and we've got the 50 moving average, which will probably be moving in that area as well. So I wanted to keep an eye on, and we have got this topping tail on the 60 as well, so it looks like it's starting to sell off a little bit in the market. So that's a high risk bounce, and then 448.25 is a less of a high risk bounce and more higher probability. And if we get down to 442.60 area, that will be a full position, and that'll be off the 200 moving average as well. So that's 443 to 442.60. So this area here I'll be watching for a bounce as well. Again, we're still in an uptrend on the SPY because of this moving average, and we've yet to break it. And we tried breaking it in the pre-market yesterday, and it rejected it. So possibly it's going to come down and do the same thing today. As for rejection areas, I've got 451 as a higher risk rejection, and that's purely because it's a treble top effectively. We've got this top from 14th, this area here from yesterday, and a bit from the post market and pre-market. So that's an area to keep an eye off, but it's a high risk. So ideally 452.72. If I zoom out, that should give us and that's based on a level from a year and a half ago. So that's more of a higher probability area, 452.72. So again, not massive amounts of overhead resistance. So it's going to be hard trying to find rejection levels other than what we've generated over the last day or two. But we've got a couple of good areas of potential bounces, and we're still in an uptrend until we're not. So let's make the most of being in the uptrend, and hopefully let's make good profit today. Let's have a quick look at Qs while we're here. Yeah, so Qs looks quite interesting as well. We got this double top formed, and this potential curving over the double top with a possible move down. 378.22 looks like a good bounce area. probably don't really want to reject this area. If we do push up, maybe a break and retest high. So 383.50, a retest high. So 378.22 for a bounce, 383.50 for a breakout and a retest long. And the good thing about doing the retest is if we do see a breakout and it's a fake breakout and it pushes back down, if we wait for confirmation, for the break of the confirmation candle, then we won't be getting into a trade which will be heading back down again, a bearish trade. We might see it because the market's very extended. In fact, let's go back to the SPY and then let's look at the daily. And you can see we are a long way away from the 8 moving average, a long way from the 20, long way from the 50. And if you go through the last year, I'll just zoom out again. We want to be heading. It's like a magnet, so the market does want to bring itself back to this moving average, the 20. Last time it was at the 20 was beginning of May. And if you look, every rejection, it all comes back to this 8 moving average or the 20, back to the 8 to the 20, away from the 8. So we're probably looking for some form of pullback soon. So again, if we break through 450, maybe we're seeing a bit of a reversal back down again. But something to bear in mind as well, being that we're so far away from the 8 at the moment. Now, if you look at the history of this chart, we've never, I think here we were quite far away from the 8, here, and then beginning of the year, we were quite, even when we were pulling back, we were still basically running along the 8. So we're getting more and more extended as the days pass. So maybe another day higher, we probably could get up to 460 and could see a big rejection back. But we've got earnings this week as well, and we'll see what the earnings brings. Maybe a few negative earning reports might bring this back down. Anyway, have a good day trading, and I will speak to some of you in the Discord room later. Bye bye.